So in your initial assessment, well, on every session, what I basically do is ask you to stand, and then I get you to move around. So you're showing me what you can and cannot do. And then once I've seen what you can and cannot do, then I'm able to then assess you myself by using my hands to move your body around to get an idea of what the joints are moving like. So therefore, I have the ability to assess every joint in your body and formulate an opinion on what I feel that joint is doing or is not doing. Once I found out what the joint is doing, then I can decide whether that joint needs to be treated or whether that joint doesn't need to be treated. Maybe somewhere else needs to be treated instead. The important thing is I take a detailed case history to understand whether your problem is coming from your bones and joints or whether it's coming from somewhere else. So it's about understanding the individual and the health of the individual. So that's the reason why there's a one-off detailed case history, to try to understand you as a person and not you just as a shoulder, knee or whatever you present with. You need to undress down to your underwear so I can watch your system move. And you'll come across lots of different osteopaths who treat in many different ways. And how I treat is I'm always looking at you from top to bottom as a person and trying to understand the interaction of other areas of the body and what role they may be playing. And obviously before one treats anything, you need to see it, understand it, and come up with a direction and not just do things to the body. One needs to have some way of understanding. Usually, so when it comes to any therapist, what we're doing is we are helping the body to help itself. So the main influence of your body's pain is your body, and what I do is I try to change the stresses and strains on that region to give your body an opportunity to get better. The number of treatments that you may need will depend on how fast you respond to your first treatment. So at consultation, what I would say is if you are only 10% better when I see you next week, then that means we're still on weekly treatments. But if you come back and you say that you're already 50% better, that means it's safe to space the treatment out for 2 weeks. Then let's say you come back in 2 weeks' time and you say you're 80% better, then that means we can space it out for maybe a month. So that's now only 3 treatments. And then if you come back in a month's time, then I would say, well, it seems like you're much better at 100%. So that would be 4 treatments for that condition. Obviously, it just depends on how bad the injury is.